And now in other news, it's been over a month since the CUNY Law commencement speech, the hate-filled anti-Semitic speech delivered by Fatima Musa Muhammad. And the university has still not taken any significant measures to address the issue of the rampant anti-Semitism within its halls, perhaps hoping the incident will simply blow over. And so joining us now with more on the aftermath of this speech is attorney and CEO of the international legal firm Arsen Ostrovksy. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So the commencement speech initially received tremendous backlash, and even the university condemned it. But other than issuing a statement, what has the university done to address this particular incident and the anti-Semitism on its campus?
Sure. Unfortunately, beyond issuing a statement, which, by the way, did not even specifically outline that this was an anti-Semitic speech. They said hate speech, but they didn't refer to it as anti-Semitic speech. Really, the university has not done anything tangible beyond that. And we have to really put this in context. This speech by Ms. Fatima Muhammad, this did not occur in a vacuum, and it wasn't an isolated incident. Regrettably, this kind of speech, this kind of action is the result of CUNY Law School's systematically cultivating this atmosphere where Jew hatred, anti-Semitism, BDS activities, and anti-Zionism is just really spiraling out of control. And I think the fact also we have to remember that the speech by the student was not only reviewed but approved in advance by the University Law School, which I think only underscores the fact that what we have today is a situation made, enabled, and empowered by the university itself, where Jewish students, faculty, and staff are being harassed, intimidated, discriminated against on the basis of their Jewish and Zionist affinity. And that is something we have to say enough is enough and to take action against that.
Now, last we spoke, you were leading an initiative to revoke the university's tax-exempt status. What's going on there? And what other initiatives are being taken now to ensure that this simply doesn't blow over with time?
Sure. I mean, look, as we said before, this is not the first time such an incident has occurred. It is part of a repetitive behavior that has been cultivated by the CUNY Law School, and enough was enough. So together with the National Jewish Advocacy Center, the International Legal Forum made a submission to the IRS to calling on them to revoke CUNY Law School's tax-exempt status, because engaging in such activities, including support for BDS, and by the way, CUNY Law School is the only law faculty in the country that has formally adopted BDS as a policy, also goes against their non-profit status by engaging in political and lobbying activities. So that is being considered now. In addition, in the last week or so, together with American Association of Jewish Lawyers and Jurists as well, together we made a submission to the American Bar Association as well, calling on them to condemn, to investigate, and ultimately to revoke CUNY Law School's accreditation status, because these kinds of actions also fly in the face of the American Bar Association's rules and guidelines, which prohibit such discrimination, prohibit anti-Semitism as well. So that is being considered as well. And there's a number of other legal actions on foot as well, including seeking to prevent Ms. Muhammad from being accredited by the American Bar Association, and of course, congressional legislation that has been submitted now calling to defund CUNY Law School on the basis that a public entity should not be certainly not be using public funds to engage in such relentless and virulent anti-Semitism.
Another thing we need to address, the Biden administration recently launched its national strategy to combat anti-Semitism. Why aren't we seeing it in effect here? And when are we going to see it take effect? Why aren't we seeing it in action?
That's a great question. I think what we're seeing at CUNY is I think a perfect test case for the Biden administration to invoke, and because it really covers what they're trying to do, or it ought to in any case, because they're very clear in the plan specifically about how it relates to anti-Semitism and Jew hatred on campus, including, again, reiterating the embrace of the IHRA definition, and specifically outlining also that anti-Jewish hatred in such a manner, when it manifests against the State of Israel, can also be a form of anti-Semitism. So this really is something that the Biden administration ought to be looking at. And we know also for a fact that at least one of the members of Congress has also written to the Department of Education, calling on them now to formally launch what is a civil rights investigation under Title VI, which prohibits universities that receive public funding, as CUNY does, from engaging in any kind of racial discrimination or discrimination on the basis of national origin or shared ancestry, as CUNY is and has been repeatedly engaging. So that is also now being looked at.
All right, Arsen Ostrovksy, thank you so much for the update and for your important work.
Thanks so much.